No belaboring.
Okay.
Can you get the lights?
Yep. You like that.
You've been practicing. You trying to impress me. All right. Well, we're back for another episode, another night, another late night.
Yay.
Hopefully we get it right.
Yeah.
We cover some topics that help everybody through the week. If not through the night. You might be up tonight trying to mastermind. So
No, that's right.
that's what we're here to do.
Never too late for that.
Never too late, never too early.
Mm-hmm.
Just start right where you are.
Yep. So,
So
for kickers, how are you doing?
for kickers, as in you trying to beat me to it.
Yes.
I'm doing good. My eyes are they're not shut. They shut right this second, but I'm a little bit I don't even think I'm sleepy for real, but I feel a little dreamy right now.
That's a good word. I was gonna say, are you floating? But dreamy is good. I think
Yeah.
it's a different
I mean, I don't think the meaning is exactly, but that's how I feel.
yeah.
Dreamy-ish, dream-esque.
Hmm.
But I feel good. Other than that, I don't know. I'm excited to see what thoughts will come. What topic we're gonna kind of attack. I don't know. We'll be attacking it, but what topic is gonna hit the table tonight?
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm blessed. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be working on consistency and for us to kind of just do some constructive thinking
Yeah.
type stuff.
That's good.
How
I'm
do you
ready
feel?
to
Sorry, you say you ready?
well, I can add that in. I am I'm glad that we're back here again doing this
Why?
because mm, even though there's a consistent element in knowing it's kind of coming up,
Mm-hmm.
it's also, I feel like, good to know you have something to look forward to.
That's true.
Because a lot of times, I think people are going about their day or getting up or doing stuff, but they don't necessarily know what they're looking forward to in terms of something that actually makes them happy or they're
Mm-hmm.
glad to do.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's true. That's a great I don't know, a great thought just to consider how valuable it is to have something to look forward to. I think that's definitely something that, as simple as that sounds, like to just if you can find something that you can add, I guess, to your routine or your schedule
Mm-hmm.
that you are gonna look forward to, and maybe it's something that you don't even know that you would look forward to it. Yeah, you probably have to find what that thing is,
Yeah.
or what those things can be, because it doesn't have to just be one. But that's a good like suggestion, I guess, for anybody that's trying to add some value and some joy to their life. You know,
Yeah.
so I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you added the perspective because I don't necessarily think about it like that. But I think it's just because I do enjoy it and I want to enjoy it, so I want to get back to doing the next episode kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I'm also not really thinking about it like we got to do the next episode. It's just like it is so far so good. It's a constant.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes too we can step back and not overlook the fact that, oh wow, like I'm actually looking forward to that though. So that is,
Yeah.
let me make sure that I bring the right energy because I want to be here. Clearly, that's why I keep showing up.
Exactly. And I think maybe that's why even okay, I'm not saying this is was the case 100%, but so far, whenever we get here and sit down. Um,
I thought we were floating.
we are. Whenever we get here, this smile comes out of nowhere,
I
even
agree.
if I didn't feel like smiling. And I think that has a large part to do with it.
I agree. I've noticed that. Even though it's dark, I've definitely noticed that when you smile, it gets a little bit brighter. But that's good. I mean, I kind of have like I think I know where we're going
All
with
right,
this.
let's go.
I mean, in the form of a question, but I guess to preface the question, um, I don't know, like, so we mentioned consistency, and we kind of said how if it's something that you look forward to or look forward to doing, you're probably gonna, go into it with some type of joy, or there's the opportunity to go into it with some type of joy,
Mm-hmm.
and over time, there's probably the opportunity to be consistent at it because you continue to look forward to it. You'll probably keep showing up.
Mm-hmm.
But my question, I guess, is like, what does it take to be consistent? And I guess on a personal level, more so than, but maybe including the outside factors, and we kind of named a few. So I'm just considering like, because sometimes consistency can seem easy. Like, I think everybody, when they set out to do something, whether it's a New Year's resolution or it could be a new job, it could be something that you say you want or you want to be good at. It could be a relationship. It could be, you know, um, it could be a hobby. And you just say, I'm going to continue to do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like at some point it becomes challenging to be consistent,
Yeah.
you know. And you still might, because some things are on autopilot. So, like, whether it could be a job where you don't have somebody standing over you to say, like, hey, like you did show up, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do entirely. And you might get away with what looks like you work every day or you work 5 days
Mm.
out the week. But I mean, like, really, if we peel back whatever layers and fluff and we could really see, are you consistent? Like, yeah, you showed up for that men's league or softball league or whatever again,
Mm-hmm.
but like you kind of said with the aspect of joy, like, was your heart in it? And sometimes it is just simply showing up is the best that we can give that day, or we feel that that's the best we can give, and that is sometimes it has to be, but I guess fighting past and getting past that point is a long question. Like, what does it take to be consistent? Like, to really be consistent, maybe to the point where you're not stepping backwards, even in your showing up. Like, it's always gonna be you building on. Like,
So, to clarify your question,
what
are
is,
we, hmm?
I was just gonna say it again.
So we're talking about this from the angle of the measure in which you show up being the same?
Just what does it take to be consistent? Like,
Because I feel like
I mean, I guess first we could say, what is consistency? What is consistency?
mm, consistency is doing something or approaching something with as a constant. So I want to say the measure of consistency is equal. Because, for example, if you're going to show up, maybe you showed up. And this is a tricky part, I guess, what
Hmm.
I'm kind of getting at. But it's like maybe you showed up 100% today, but tomorrow you showed up at 75%.
I mean, but it's relative because if you showed up at 75%, but you only got however many hours of sleep and you were aching and you had something on your mind, that really might be like a great day.
before, but it's like if you're cooking something, let's say, I don't know, you're baking cookies and you're putting them down on the sheet
Hmm.
and you're getting ready to serve them to people, you would want your cookies to be consistent. If you got a small burnt cookie on the end, but then this one is perfect, and then the
But
one
there's
was,
different reasons that will cause that. You
and
might get your eggs from two different places, and that could affect how the cookie comes out. It's nothing you did.
exactly. So again, with consistency, I mean, if consistency equals a constant, I like a constant is, I think it's even all across the board.
So, what does it take to be consistent?
What does it take to
And
be
you don't have to answer it
consistent?
entirely. We can answer it together. But like, I'll just piggyback off of maybe what you think, because I mean, it could take probably plenty of things. But like, if you had to,
Maybe it takes determination to be consistent.
okay,
Like there has to be some other internal drive that will allow you to be consistent or show up consistently, um, regardless of what the other factors are.
okay. What if you have determination, but you don't have discipline? So now you have like the desire or the will, but like you didn't necessarily. If we're sticking with the cookie example, um, you didn't rest your legs the day before. So
Mm-hmm.
now when it's time to get in the kitchen, like you're not able to move around as quickly and stuff is cooking for a few minutes longer than it should, or you know, it'd be better if I use the athletic example, but let's assume that cooking it takes some work, you do have to stand up and move around. So, we you take for granted, but if you were not prepared for this big kitchen and this amount of movement, that might affect the outcome of your. Even though you have the determination, you showed up, you like, I'm gonna do this. But by the time 30 minutes pass, your legs start getting tired. You like, I can't, I gotta sit down for a second. And that 5 minutes that you took a break cost you. And now the cookies didn't come out consistently.
I think there's levels, there has to be levels to consistency
Yeah.
because with what we're saying, and because I actually had a question at the beginning of the podcast, but this kind of ties directly into it.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be levels because if we're looking at how does one transition from, which I was kind of saying the other day, from good to great, I would feel like there are different levels of consistency. So if you want to be good, maybe we know you can show up, or we can expect from you, if using a cookie example, oh, we know every time we ask you to make dessert, we're going to get a couple cookies that are a different size.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them going to be a little crunchy, whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to truly make that transition to great, I would think your level of consistency that has to increase, and your discipline even would have to increase in that way. And that's a totally different, it looks different.
Yeah.
So your cookies are good, but my cookies are better.
Yeah.
Not only are they all the same size, none of them missed a beat. Like there's no burnt cookies on my plate.
Yeah.
Um I know that they're gonna come out hot, or they're gonna stay warm at this temperature. Um, Not only do you show up because you go the extra mile or you do these extra things, um, this is this has extremely benefited
Mm-hmm.
the team members or whatever, the company, however we want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that again, there's levels. Like, it could be this starting level where your discipline is at the level of just you learning to show up,
Yeah.
but you haven't learned maybe how to incorporate your work ethic into that yet.
Yeah.
You're just on the showing up part. But the other person, they're showing up, they're going above and beyond with their work, and that looks different.
Yeah.
And I think we could say both of those people are consistent because we know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
But the outcome is totally different. And that's a direct reflection of where their consistency lies and how disciplined they are in that.
Yeah. So what was your question?
What was my question?
You referred to a question that you said you had at the
I might
beginning of the podcast.
I probably talked myself into my own answer, but it was about this transition from good to great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do we know we're making that transition from good to great? And I think it's a reflection of how consistent we are,
Mm-hmm.
which is tied to the amount of discipline that we're able to.
You're answering
Yeah, again, I
it.
think I am doing that.
Nah, that's good. I mean, that's definitely a correlation.
um, Tied to the discipline and the determination factor.
I have an example, but we can stick with the cookies for the sake of, but just visually, like somebody who has, let's just say, a longer career in being a chef, or
Mm,
being a baker. I don't want to butcher these terms that people work hard to earn, and they learn and practice this stuff. But to for the baker who's been doing it for 20 years, did they ever win like the best such and such to where they got plastered in a magazine and like,
mm-hmm,
they won whatever that competition was? Maybe not. I mean, if you've been doing it for 20 years, you probably could. You probably had the opportunity to.
mm-hmm.
But to me, like I had this thought earlier, it wasn't about cookies, but you know, just the correlation, I feel like it's still the principle applies. To me, the true win, or if we're talking about going from good to great, great is consistency. The fact that he did it or she's done it for 20 years
Yeah,
as a baker or as a chef or whatever, like that's to me, like to your point, that's the consistency that would lead to being great, not just, oh, you won a competition.
yeah,
Obviously I'm not saying it doesn't take a lot to win a competition,
mm-hmm,
but could you win that competition again? Or could you continue to do it even if you never won a competition?
yeah,
So I was really just thinking about how I think nowadays, people really, or we as people really praise like what appears to be like the glamour, you know,
mm-hmm,
or even if it's a really tasty cookie, but we overlook like these brands or these, it could be a quote unquote mom and pop store or somewhere that like they've been here for so long. Like, why have they been here for so long?
yeah,
And not appreciate that, not just because they've been there, but it's a reason why they've been there for that long. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean? Like, almost to the point where it's so overshadowed, we're just looking for the new thing, the new winner,
yeah,
the new shiny, you know, biggest, sweetest cookie. Like, we're not looking for the one that, oh, this was established or this company, whatever, 1960.
yeah,
Like, and what that actually means for what they've put behind that recipe. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like, it's deeper than just oh wow, like, and it makes you want to taste and get another one. Like, that might be a good cookie too, but why is it so good? They just came out with it. Like, you need to check those ingredients.
yeah,
Is it really a great cookie, or is it a good tasting cookie that's really sugary, that's full of not much substance, and the consistency ain't really the same as like another cookie that's like, dang, this is good and it's all natural ingredients. Or, I'm not making it about healthy versus not healthy, but essentially. Because unhealthy ways would not lead to being able to be or positioning oneself to be consistent, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just to me so many different angles to be coming from. It's so many different angles you could come from with that scenario, even because,
You can
okay,
say that again. There's so many different angles you can look at that
you
from.
can look at that from.
Say it so I can edit it out.
There's so many different angles we could look at that from because that company, for example, maybe their level of consistency and being great, it might not even be the product though. It could be their marketing
Yeah,
that beat the mom and pop store.
yeah.
Like their consistency might not have been in the area of marketing.
Or they could have bought somebody else's consistency and
They
branded it as their own because somebody else was willing to sell what they put their time into.
they could have, but if we're just looking at what areas are, whether a person or a company or a brand, why they're succeeding in certain areas, it's like, oh yeah, you sold me because we see how much you put into your marketing,
Hmm.
but you're not consistent with the product though.
So,
Whereas
can you see consistency? I don't want to cut you off, but that's what you're. Can you see that? Is that something that we can so easily
I
like?
think we can, because even with your example with the mom and pop store, we can see it. I'm not saying we acknowledge it all of the time,
Hmm.
but if we see they've been open for 15 years, it's like, hey, mom and pop store open for 15 years, come in, try our cookies. Their consistency is right there in our face. Like we've been here. It might not be as in your face as some bright packaging um that just came out of this trendy new thing. But I think to some degree, yeah, at some
So,
point,
so why do we overlook it? Why do we overlook that then? If consistency is something that's also, I'm gonna say like glamorous in the sense that the idea of doing that, we know it takes a lot. It's worthy to be praised, I'll say.
because
Or
you
what?
just said it,
What?
I think I think it's the work that it takes.
But why
That
do we overlook it? Like even if we're looking at somebody else who's been consistent, is what I'm saying.
I don't think we've bought into the I the fact for real of knowing that it'll pay off for us if we haven't seen that yet from ourselves. Like we're not even willing to try, I guess, with the factors of time, with the pressures of like other people watching us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we don't want to be consistent long enough to see the thing through.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we can just hop on the newest thing or showcase the shiniest object we got or say we found the best whatever, that's more valuable to present to the world than telling the story of like you actually put in the work and
Yeah.
this is the result.
I mean, I don't think it's that everybody overlooks that. I mean, but I guess it is seemingly as though it's more popular of a view to, like you said, kind of go after the bright new packaging, um, or something that for sticking with the cookie theme.
Mhm.
Something that it does taste good, but like we don't even know much about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus the mom and pop, like all the research or the stories or the magazine articles or the ingredients or like every
Yeah.
the real live testimonials of how long people been eating this same cookie. But
Mhm.
it's almost like there are some who don't value that the same,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the disparity of age, like the younger people might want the newer thing. The
Mhm.
older crowds might want the thing that they've known since they
Yeah.
were younger.
Mhm.
But I do think there's even amongst both, like there are those that they know like, oh nah, this is something it's been around for a reason. I know there's value in that. And there's other people that look at it like it's not valuable for that reason.
Yeah.
Like that's my observation. But I feel like it's
Mhm.
true. It's
I
crazy.
I agree.
What is that?
Uh, I think it's the glitz and glamour.
Almost like, do we prefer good then,
I think a lot of people do
without realizing that that's what we're doing? Like
because I think with good, you don't have to be as patient.
maybe good is more relatable
I like that angle. You just
because it's like you can dress it up and make it look like it's this thing that's been around for so long. Like it can run with the best of them. Like it's a new baker, it's a new cookie, but look, I got on a new outfit, and my cookie is ultraviolet and glow in the dark. Everybody's gonna want it,
Oh, wow, that was good.
but in reality, they might be able to hang. I'm not saying they have no experience,
Yeah.
but it's not. They really, if we look at longevity, you will see who's around. You know,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Famous Amos. I don't know what year he came out, but it's a
Yeah.
long time ago.
And I guess that's part of it. I mean, people are they're excited to take part in the short-term reward of things,
Yeah.
especially if we are.
So almost like they're gonna support
Yeah.
something that is like, yeah, they came. I'm trying to do that. I want to come out of nowhere and
Yeah.
just get all the cookie trophies real quick, and then
No, literally.
everybody know me.
And just like, what is really the motive to just want to do everything or be a part of everything? And what you're selling, what you're saying, what you're doing is not even that good, but you don't even care because you rather get the acknowledgement or you rather be famous or you rather have whatever thousand plus followers on social media
Hmm.
or you know you don't care really to put in the work. You're willing to cut corners for it to appear great, and people buy in for that reason. But on the back end, it doesn't sustain.
I mean, but that's it. Also shows how genuine we are as people too, because we buy in to something like that and support that person. Maybe because we want to see them actually become somebody who has longevity too.
And for that reason, I feel like it's not even right to sell those people short.
But my point is like they don't even realize that that's that person who's selling it. They didn't set out to do it long term necessarily. They didn't set out with that mindset.
Yeah.
So obviously, but I'm saying so it's not that they're intentionally letting
Hmm.
the people down,
Yeah.
who are supporting them. They're not letting us down on purpose. Some of them might be trying to get over. But the other ones, they think that in their mind, this is what it is. This is what it looks like. If y'all support it, then it must be good, and then that's that.
Hmm.
Not realizing like, oh, this thing, there's actually a responsibility to if I'm really about this, to be consistent in it, to go from like you said, good to great.
And they
You know,
probably won't find that out until they have to deal with answering those questions of if it didn't last as long as they wanted to. Because maybe they actually got something out of that process and
yeah,
was able to tap into that mind frame, even just a little bit of knowing how big of a impact or a responsibility they might hold,
yeah,
even if it's to themselves.
yeah,
Like, you just started or you just did a whole thing and you're not understanding why you have to keep starting over or I'm not saying it's not a place, but for the sake of this conversation, you know, um, to set out initially with the mindset of just maybe the fame aspect
mhm,
or a quick dollar aspect. It's a totally different mindset to start off with knowing you're building something and you want it to sustain
yeah,
and you want to be even known for the right things, even if it was to close down. At least they can say, wow, they did 15 however plus years in this mom and pop store versus, oh yeah, I tried them. They shut down like 2 months.
yeah. I mean, I think they would have to get to that point to realize whether or not they want to go from where they were to what they can be or what they can make it,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
But yeah, I mean, essentially, if you're trying to get famous off making cookies, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's definitely famous Amos, but I
Yeah.
think longevity would be the way to be that. I think I guess we kind of have maybe popularity and fame confused too. Like I don't want to just make up definitions, but in my mind, like fame is like really like a name that you earn, whereas popularity is like, I mean, you could anybody can be popular. It doesn't really last. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like fame is popularity that lasts. Popularity or just being popular is like it's current. It's in the moment.
Mm, it could very well be the opposite. Cause I don't think that's saying 15 seconds of fame for no reason. Like you had your moment and that was it. But it's like you could be popular amongst your community.
Yeah, but 15 seconds of fame, I feel like you probably reached a level where you could have taken it further.
I don't disagree.
Whereas being popular, you could be popular without trying.
I agree.
That's where I see the difference at. You're not gonna be famous without trying.
I agree.
Like 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? Doesn't that normally apply to like? I mean, I would say professionals, people that you know, everybody might not love them. They didn't win everybody over, but they won over the right people to get in the room.
Sometimes, but even in this case, I think it still applies where somebody doing something okay or good or average, and for whatever reason, they were able to be recognized and they got a 15 seconds of fame,
Hmm.
but because of that, whatever mind frame they're in that is not allowing them to operate in the greatness aspect of things, um, they couldn't even capitalize, I guess, off of that 15 seconds of fame and do something with it. They were just happy to have the 15 seconds.
Yeah, I would say 15 seconds of fame though is in retrospect, meaning it's like I guess you could say hindsight or whatever. It's not you can't anticipate 15 seconds of fame.
You can't, but
We're
if
pointing
you're,
at what happened. That person had 15 seconds of fame. They had their 15 seconds of fame.
I feel like, but if you were,
You can't capitalize off of 15 seconds of fame.
I think you can in a
But that's
way.
that's a different. I don't mean like you can because you could say, "Look, I'm this person," and you could point to what you did in that 15 seconds. That's capitalizing. But I mean, like you can't, like you said, they didn't get out of their 15 seconds. Like nobody's anticipating 15 seconds.
You're not, but for the person who was operating a certain way from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
we could technically say they're prepared. So it's like when that moment comes,
Mm-hmm.
they're really ready and they could even recognize like this is my 15
What
seconds of
person?
fame.
Which one? You said that person. I'm just making
The
sure
person that
we
is
all know.
operating with that longevity mindset
Mm-hmm.
of like starting off with the greatness or recognizing I do want to approach what I'm doing with a high level of consistency.
Yeah.
They're prepared from the beginning. They don't need the fame or the popularity on the back end. They're already doing it.
Yeah.
But when that moment comes, they're not they're because they're not phased by those things, they can easily recognize like this is the moment.
Yeah.
And that was a moment I feel like that will turn into much more things and they won't.
But the moment you're speaking to is not 15 seconds of fame.
What is it?
You're saying this is the moment. It's just opportunity. But 15
Well,
seconds of fame to me is a negative connotation. It's not, it could be something that you can use to work in your favor and maybe get another opportunity. But to
mm-hmm,
me, it's in hindsight. Like it's what happened.
it
It's
is.
not like, oh, I'm in 15 seconds of fame. To me, I don't see it like that, but I don't know.
But that's why I'm using
Maybe I'm
it.
in it.
No, but that's why I'm using it in
Uh-huh.
this context.
Mm-hmm.
Um for for the fact of like if it comes for anybody, if that moment comes for anybody,
Mm-hmm.
if you are when that when it's there, Because 15 seconds of fame in and of itself, like you said, it is a moment. It is like an opportunity for somebody who recognize what they can do with that. Then that opportunity, I feel like, can transpire into many more things after that.
Yeah.
But for the person who doesn't, I think, yes, it is a in hindsight thing for them. They will have to look back on it like, oh, wow, that was my 15 seconds of fame. Didn't even know it. They was really just basking in that comfort of it.
No, but it's not didn't even know it. You're not gonna know you had 15 seconds of fame until it's over. That's why we count to
That
15.
that's what I just said.
But you said they didn't know it.
Yeah, until they look back in hindsight.
But the only reason why they can say that was my 15 seconds is because they weren't consistent or they weren't going from good to great.
And that's what I'm saying. I think we're on the same page.
Okay. I don't know how we even got to 15 seconds of fame, but yeah. I'm just saying that I think 15 seconds of fame is not it's not the same thing as really being in the midst of an opportunity. Like it's something that is how we define what happened.
I understand what
Oh,
the
I'm you ain't the only one listening.
oh, okay.
All right. I'm breaking it down for the
Mhm.
so I'm just saying like 15 seconds of fame, like it's versus like the opportunity if you're for the person like you said that's in the midst of whatever the opportunity is, um, there is the opportunity to not end up being somebody who only had a 15 seconds of fame, but there's the opportunity to be consistent. There's the opportunity to be good in that moment or to be better than you were last time, to be great, you know. But without taking advantage of that, you might have found yourself in the right room and somebody, you know, gave you a chance and the spotlight is on you.
Mhm.
And I think that is how those 15 seconds end up happening, quote
Yeah.
unquote. But, um, you know, nonetheless, we went back. I mean, I'm returned.
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm done.
All right. Well, yeah. So, what do y'all think it takes to be consistent, and what do you think it takes to go from good to great? Let us know what you think down below in the comments. And we look forward to seeing your responses.
We do. What do we think it takes to be consistent? Because I don't even know if we decided for ourselves.
I think it's an open-ended question right now. Hmm.
I mean, it definitely takes, I think, you said determination. Um, I think I said that it take discipline because you could have determination, but without the discipline, you might still, you know, I'll say lack self control necessary. Like, so the discipline, you know, maybe will help you to put up those boundaries, which I think we've mentioned, you know, for other purposes. But I think just the boundaries would allow you to be so determined within a certain space. Like, you're really allowing your energy to be used for the sake of being consistent
Yeah.
versus like trying to be consistent, but like you're trying to do everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't have boundaries, you don't have discipline. So then when it's time to be determined, you want it in your heart, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe the physical element ain't allowing that to happen because you haven't been disciplined,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. Those are just a couple I think that we did say. So like I said, there's probably way, way, way more that we could um just validate and say, yeah, that does go as well. But like you said, hopefully y'all can provide some input. So I'm still learning. Are you still learning?
Oh, always learning.
We're still learning. So, all right. Well, no, have a good night. It was good talking. Once again, we'll be back next week. But until then, be blessed. And it's no trick word. You can say whatever you want.
Be blessed and have a good night.
There we go. All right.